Okay, well, why don't we get started? Okay, so let's do the order of battle this way. I mean, we could do it with a different arrangement. Also, within limits, actually, I want to encourage you to interrupt. The limits are when you start doing a long speech. I'll probably cut you off mercifully. But if you've got a question or a comment, it might be useful just to bring it up as we go along, okay?
Thank you for the legible screens.
Oh, are these legible?
Yes. Usually they're.
Well, I don't like print, so I apologize even for this. I mean, normally a PowerPoint should have an image that will work the mind, not a bunch of words. Anyway, this is just for me. I apologize that you have to see this. So we're going to ask the question, do they need nuclear power or to enrich or reprocess? Can we strike a formal nuclear cooperative agreement with Riyadh that fails to prohibit enriching or recycling without undermining non-proliferation regionally and globally? And doesn't the U.S. lack leverage to do anything since the Saudis can buy elsewhere? All right. One word answer to all these questions is no. So if you want a gentleman's C and you need to rush off to the next class, we're done. Okay. That would be the, I understand that the people at Yale have what they call a gentleman's C, so that's for all of you. Okay. First thing to observe with regard to running out of fossil fuels, you know, I suppose arguably we're running out of water and we're running out of oxygen while we're at it, and sunlight and moonlight, but at a very slow rate is my guess. And timing is everything in life. You know? The idea that they're running out is true in some sense that is not as interesting as what they're finding. And what they're finding is more than what they're running out of. Also, it isn't oil necessarily that's so interesting. It's natural gas. And the reason why is natural gas is a terrific fuel in some respects for making electricity. Essentially, those jet engines on the side of your airplane are what they use to make electricity. And that industry is extremely efficient. Those engines are pretty impressive things. They get cheaper, lighter, more efficient, and net is, there's a reason why natural gas is burned now for electricity in the United States more than coal. And that's saying a lot, because coal used to be king. Well, they're finding reserves, and they have proven reserves that are quite interesting. To give you some idea, the United States has a lot of natural gas. What is roughly the population of the United States? Anybody know?
360 million?
How much?
360 million?
Yeah, that's very good. Well, I mean, that would be roughly 10 times, maybe 9 times, the population of Saudi Arabia. We have the same level of proven reserves. Okay, heads up, that's interesting. We export. Tells you maybe they have a little right now, but if they don't have enough right now for what they want in the future, then you take a look at this map of what it is that they could tap into. And this is a map that does not include shale. This is conventional gas. Let's just say, no, they're not running out of fuel for electricity. Not in any meaningful sense. Then there's this. It may well be that solar isn't exciting in Canada. Although, I bet you they're working in Canada. But in Saudi Arabia, it's really quite a winner. Now, I did not understand this. I was always skeptical about this. A couple of things exploded my skepticism. First of all, I hired some people who actually knew a hell of a lot more than I know. And this is a fellow Robin Mills at Quaymore Energy. You look him up. But I had several other analysts with different perspectives, pro-fossil fuel, pro-renewables. They all said the same thing. Oh, you really want to get into this? I said, well, really? A couple of reasons. First of all, there's a lot of sun there. This is well beyond anything that happens in Arizona, for example. The number of clouds are very few, ever. Okay, there's some wind. I'm not going to probably make a big case for that. But the sun, wow. Then there's this. The latest bid at the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which was not the lowest bid, but the second to lowest bid, was 2 cents and some odd and change per installed kilowatt hour for photovoltaic. The low bid right now is 1.7 cents. Can someone tell me what the installed cost per installed kilowatt hour, what the cost per installed kilowatt hour is for a nuclear power plant in, let's say, the UAE? Does anybody know? It's not 1.7 cents. What do you think it is?
No idea.
Well, they're going to open up a department of economics here, aren't they? Energy economics. Who teaches energy economics here?
No one, but there is somebody who's very interested in it.
Well, I'm interested in it, and you are too. The answer is 11 cents. 1.7, 11. Gee, wow, that's a big difference. But then the hand goes up. Yes, but it's intermittent. Well, it is, but this isn't. We helped develop this. I think the Spanish have commercially perfected it. The UAE is building this, and so is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This is a big mirror reflector that heats up sodium, which stays hot after the sun goes down. It's a battery, and it makes electricity at night. Does anybody know what this costs per installed kilowatt hour? Oh, less than 8 cents. Well, what's interesting, well, actually, it could be even less than that. Now, which one of these things is the point? Any of them? You don't know either. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll just read it. This is an eye chart anyway. They've got one project that's less than 5 cents per installed kilowatt hour. Some of these plants will be the size of like 700 or 800 megawatts electrical. They're really big. So what is the takeaway between natural gas? Oh, did I mention you might want to connect your grid properly to other things? Maybe you reduce the subsidies. What does natural gas and electricity cost in Saudi Arabia compared to this market, which is pretty low? It's a pretty low market. A fraction. It's less. Well, why? They subsidize it. Well, why? Well, they want people to be happy. And they want them not to have to pay very much to live day to day. But as a result, as I once talked with an Iranian at one of these confabs in Switzerland, I said, do you really think you need nuclear power? This was back in 2002. He said, of course not. And he said, but of course, the way we price it, we're going to run out of oil tomorrow. But if we change the price, we'd never need it. I mean, he was very candid about it. Same point here. If you change the subsidies, the demand for all of the electricity will go down. If you put all those things together, the UAE reached a profound conclusion, which most people don't know about. They are not going to build any more nuclear power plants. And they do have more demand to meet, quite a lot. Now, if that's the case in the UAE, and it's because of these projects. In other words, when they decided to make nuclear power so many years ago, none of these numbers were this low. Something's changed. You would think the Saudis would be up on this. Now, I think they are, actually. They know all about solar. They've bid on it. They're building it. Worth noting, their conclusion is they need nuclear power, but their neighbors have concluded they're done. Here is another comparative that was done, not with Western numbers, but Middle Eastern numbers, with Middle Eastern analysts, not Western analysts, which, for those of you who are culturally sensitive, should make you feel better, yeah? Not only that, but there is a way in which Western numbers and analysts skew things. Try not to do that here. This came out of Dubai. And what you see here is nuclear is at the bottom near diesel turbines. It's not your best investment, and that's for Saudi Arabia. Okay. All right, but we need to enrich. Well, what is the argument there? Well, we have 5% of the uranium in the world. And so we need to enrich, sort of like, my wife is from Australia originally. There are a lot of sheep there. Well, so we need to make textiles and shirts. They have a lot of uranium. Some of the people say, well, we got to do all sorts of things. Well, maybe, but what's the competition up to? Oh my God. Seems to be a lot of uranium. This is yellow cake, spot price. It's not as low as it once was, but it's pretty darn low. It's around 22 bucks right now. You'd want that number to be a lot higher before you got a return on investment. Enrichment services. It's even worse. It is at a historic low. Why would you do this? This is like, how many of you have a car?
Almost everyone.
Almost everyone. Have you thought about getting an oil cracking plant and putting it in your backyard? Probably not. You think, nah, I'll go to the gas station. Same point. That's what they're proposing to do. So, I don't know, when people say they're running out of oil and gas and, they need nuclear power, that narrative, part of the narrative, just strikes me as phony. Very phony, profoundly phony.